Dearest gentle listeners, you are listening to the Ladies Bridgerton, the talk of the town. We are your effervescent hosts, your neighbourhood-friendly Kiwi, Tash from Middle-earth, New Zealand.
And Patty, Regency romance enthusiast, currently writing her fantasy romance era.
Settle down onto your favourite settee as I try not to stumble over my words as badly as I did in the last episode. We will delve into the lives of the elite and illustrious ladies, lords, and royalty of the town. This Bridgerton podcast is two friends talking romance, symbolism, Easter eggs, and my voice is no better, so I'm gonna go deep. Diving into
Do it like the Budweiser frogs. Deep.
No, that hurts.
Deep.
That hurts. That will make me cough.
I always think I sound like a frog or a man, a manly frog. Deep.
Diving into the connections of our favorite characters, we cover both book, TV series, and notable social media, and therefore will contain spoilers.
Dearest listeners.
Sorrows, prayers.
Sorrows, prayers. We have entered the angsty Colin era. Colin is betrayed and hurt, and his castle in the air of a perfect fairy tale love is shattered. He is triggered by the ghost of Marina's past. We also analyze both Whistledowns to help determine how the Queen and the Ton knew the real from the fake. Did Araminta Cowper, who we know did the writing, live up to Lady Whistldown herself?
Meh.
Meh.
Someone's been ordering from Temu.
Wah, wah. Yeah. Araminta Cowper, the Temu version of Lady Whistledown.
Like, I mean, at least it could have been AliExpress, which I feel like is maybe marginally less questionable.
You order a Whistledown from the Cowpers, it's probably going to be nothing but speculation and no real gossip.
Yeah.
It's going to be nothing but jealousy.
Just a bit jelly. Is that your pod snack?
She might as well just...
the jelly.
No. My pod snacks for today. Well, I haven't eaten yet today. My Valentine's Day to myself was a little bit of bed rotting today because I thought so I'm currently snacking on chips and cheese until my actual food gets here. I ordered a pasta dish and I'm retrying to order millefeuille from this French bakery. And I called them and told them, because last time they sent me strawberry cake with coconut, and Patty does not like coconut. So I called them and said, if they don't have it, send me a chocolate mousse cake instead. So I'm not exactly sure what's showing up at my door.
Not me. I just had my breakfast. So I had typical Aussie meal, which is avo toast with some sliced tomatoes from my garden and some light Parmesan cheese to add a little pizzazz. And now I'm drinking my latte, which does not have caramel in it because I ran out, and sad face.
I bought all the stuff to make cucumber, tomato. I'm about to cucumber, tomato, onion salad, like with I got a really good olive
Fruit
oil
salad, yeah,
which was my plan for today to make until I had literally 15 minutes to get ready to get on here.
Sorry.
Chop it. No, it's my fault. Like, it was just miscommunication. So I'm going to probably, when we get done here,
in theme for today's episode.
Yes. I'm going to meal prep for the week. So our pod snack sponsors, again, are our contributors to Buy Me a Coffee. So if you want to sponsor pod snacks, please head over to Buy Me a Coffee, the Ladies Bridgerton pod, and you can either join a watch party. We're doing them through the first few weeks of season 4 being out. We're going to do one watch party per episode. We've already done one. This will publish after we've done the episode 2 one. So if you want to join in on a watch party, keep an eye out for those. Or you can just donate to Pod Snacks and we will announce you as a Pod Snack sponsor. Currently, our Pod Snack sponsors are Di, Maria, Anne, Claire, and who am I forgetting? Sarah. Sorry, Sarah. My bad.
I'm like, who can forget Sarah?
Well, it's like you start, when you get the names get to a certain length of list, it's like the 7 dwarves. You're like, I know there's one more, but who is it?
Yeah. I absolutely adore. If anyone else wants to do this, I love it. One of my favorite parts of my week is realizing that Sarah has watched the current episode because she gives us a rundown of the episode. And I actually love the interaction of, like, I forget what I record the second that I record it. And then she posts it. I'm like, oh, that's right. I said that.
Yeah, so if you are not a part of our Facebook community chat, but you are in our Facebook group, click on chats and find our Tangent Squad
Squad.
chat.
It's a
And
bunch of fun.
you can enjoy Sarah's rundowns at the end of the pod. Also, and
It is overrun by a
Sadia
bunch of.
every week.
Oh, thank you,
Sadia every
Sadia.
week telling us that the pod went private.
The real MVP, honestly. Uh,
Okay.
and you missed one.
Bridgerton news.
Bridgerton
Bridgerton
news.
news.
Penelope is Lady Whistldown.
Shocker. Now, the Bridgerton news we're going to discuss today is one of the campaigns that I absolutely love, and it only works in this season with looking for the Lady in Silver. It has been brilliant, and I'm glad they waited until after the drop because it gives us a little more insight into the characters, although some are miswritten. I think they gave this to marketing and not necessarily the writers of the show. So there are a few characters that what they say in the when you go to them, quote unquote, go to them asking about the Lady in Silver doesn't fit their character.
Yeah.
Specifically Colin, who says he was at his darling wife's side all night, yet she was with the queen, we know.
Yes.
And Francesca and John, I think it was Colin who said, go talk to Francesca because John and Francesca were talking to so many people. They're the two biggest introverts. They stood on the wall all night. They didn't talk to anyone. Now, if he would have just said they stood by observing, I'd buy it. But he said they talked to people, and that was like marketing wrote this. It wasn't even the writers.
I mean,
I love this.
It may very well have been. Hi, excuse me, could I get through, please?
Yeah, like in Bridget Jones. Pardon me, do you know where the loos are?
Yes.
Except this is a house I grew up in, so I should know.
Yeah.
But I love this marketing campaign because we're getting a little snippet into everyone. And the one for Sophie is amazing. And Mally cracked me up with the crossover with Princess Bride. Inconceivable. But I love this marketing tactic. Every day or two, we get another character and they send you off to talk to another character. And so this has kept us fed in over this whole few week period before.
This period has not felt long.
No,
like the last one.
Not at all. Yeah, the last one felt like a drought for 4 weeks. Like, how were we ever going to make it? And this one, they've given us a little bit every day.
Yes.
Especially in this campaign. I love this because every few days I'm looking for that new character and what did they say about the Lady in Silver. And then for Valentine's Day, even though we got it on Friday the 13th, it was my Valentine's. It was your Valentine's. It was not mine, but that's okay. Valentine's whole weekend. I've had a great Valentine's weekend. It started with Bridgerton and ended with bed rot for me today. I totally took care of myself today. I did a lot of executive functioning yesterday. I ran the whole day. So today was a veg day. But the second half trailer is probably one of the best trailers they have put out. What are you laughing about? What did I say? What did I say that's got you cackling? I need to know. I said it started with Bridgerton and ended with bed rot.
It's fine. We'll just carry on.
Okay. Anyway, this second half trailer, I love. We got snippets. We know Cressida's back. We see Petty Penelope, that look on her face is very similar to the Wallflower Ball when they first see Cressida enter. So I'm pretty sure it's the same ball. And she's like, I ain't having it. And we see Benedict going through his angsty era and how
he throws that paperwork.
He throws everything. Yes, he throws everything off the desk, but not to do desk work.
Throw it, daddy.
Yeah. There's no woman there to grab and put on top of that desk, unfortunately.
He's angry, and it's actually quite interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting. He's shattering his mask wasn't just a mask; it was armor. His armor has rusted, and now it's shattering off his body. He feels trapped inside the persona he's created for himself all these years.
So you know how we saw a whole different side of Benedict when he attacked Cavender. That feels like this Benedict also, like, you know, two scenes, same vibe. And I think it's quite interesting because that is how Julia Quinn kind of wrote the Bridgerton men in the books. You know that they're in love when they go feral for their partners, whether good or bad. This time, I don't know the scene context enough to know how to take it. You know, like if Sophie's in the room and he's throwing all the stuff, bad. If it's him and
I
Antony
don't think that's
fighting,
the case.
no. If it's him and
I
Antony
think his
fighting,
mother's in the room. I think I've seen and heard
I
some spoilers
I
that
did
I
too, but
think
I think
he's
it's Antony.
it could be. But here's the thing. We haven't seen the child that has repressed anger at their father's death. I think that's Benedict. I think he's struggling with wanting what he can't have. Like he wanted his father to come back, much like Antony did, right?
Yeah.
Antony put off becoming a lord because he just wanted his father back. And I think Benedict was very much the same, but he repressed his anger, where Antony expressed it and was obstinate and overbearing and controlling. Benedict became the clown. And so I think we're going to see that shatter.
Mm.
And it's going to be, I mean, Luke Thompson is up to the task because, you know, he's an amazing actor, and I cannot wait to watch the second half because the trailer just blew me away.
Yeah,
And I want to know what happens between the Queen and Danbury. That looks like
that looked like a goodbye.
it looks like a sad.
It looks like a
like
goodbye.
scene.
That was that little
shiny eyes.
The shiny eyes, the little smile was I love you no matter what distance is between us. That's exactly how that scene read to me. I actually I think I underestimated Benedict's acting chops, and not
Luke Thompson.
No, sorry, Luke Thompson's acting chops. And when I say that, I do not mean I didn't believe that he was a good enough actor. I have always thought he was a phenomenal actor. But for him to go from this goofy, artsy, high offers cracker, screaming out a window, like the lopsided, smile, high on tea at dinner time, the rambunctious.
He's been the Bridgerton Colin comic relief.
Clown.
Him and Gregory both. Yeah,
he's been the class clown for
clown
so long. So to see him go from that to this pensive, very emotional,
broody.
very broody, very although I do hear in part 2 we're going to get a lot of him like chasing Sophie about, which is red flaggy.
Well, we love that Colin chased the carriage. Come on now.
I know, but he did it once.
I don't like the following around. That's kind of stalky.
It's pestering and it's coercive.
Now, she has already said once in the beginning of the first half, you are ruining the best position I've ever had. You are ruining it. You are following me around. You're always here. So he should listen to her.
And then we got the why are you here? I couldn't pass by the house without seeing you in that trailer for the second part. And I'm like, oh, I thought you said we weren't doing coercive grooming. Like, please don't take it there when you already said that you weren't, because it wasn't okay. But now it seems like you might. Especially as we just did this whole episode talking about how Mrs. Crabtree had that whole conversation with him about consent and what it looks like when you have two people in different power positions.
And the thing is I think Benedict, he's been the only brother. Honestly, I mean, Antony thought he deserved what he deserved because he was the Lord. Colin is the true king of consent. He literally asked, he won't enter a door that's closed, you know? Well, he knows Pen is in there, but he won't enter because she closed the door. She wants privacy. And I think Benedict, because Benedict has always abandoned himself and his own boundaries when other people wanted something from him.
Yeah.
You know, because we watched Paul groom him. We saw, I mean, yes, he wanted to enter that world and he was fully participating in it, but that's because he didn't value himself and he didn't learn the value of his no. And he's always abandoned his own boundaries. So he's not respecting her boundaries because he doesn't see.
I do truly see him as bisexual, or pansexual, shall I say, but I think that the way that Paul went about getting him there wasn't okay. If it was Lord Granville introducing it to him as we thought it was going to be, I would have felt very differently, but I just didn't like the coerciveness. Whereas when you see him in the clubs and bars and whatnot with his friends in episode 1, that is very mutual. It is not coercive. It just is what it is. Completely fine with that.
But you also see, like, when in the art school, when the lady who was the subject told him, we just see that as mutual consent. But was it, you know, like he just does it because he's told. Or in season 1, where Antony says, go dance with your sister. he obviously doesn't want to, and he's like, why? But Antony won't take no for an answer, and Benedict doesn't say no. He doesn't have boundaries with anyone. Like, he does what other people wants to keep the peace. I mean, you got to look at every little interaction too, not the big ones. Like, I'm not saying he's not truly bisexual. I believe he is. Oh, I think he's polyamorous, but I also think that he has smeared his own boundary lines
I don't think
he's
polyamorous
that
because the second that he gets Sophie, that's going to be his one and only. Like, he is, and he's even said, "I am singularly focused on you." It's not him wanting to have other people. Well, so he's not poly.
We have an interview that Jess Brownell says we're going to revisit his queerness in the second half somehow. Like, it's still a part of him. So, like, I don't know how that plays into this, because she's supposed to be his one and only, and it's a hetero presenting. So we'll see.
My brain just went to a three-way with Alfie in the accent. No. Please no. My brain needs to calm down. Like, it upsets me myself sometimes.
Your brain needs to chill out.
Oh no.
But anyways, like, I think that this trailer has been one of my favorites, and it is lighting, like you said yesterday, we're pollen fans, and we just haven't had the thrill of the season.
I had goosebumps. Like, I watched this trailer 3 times back to back the second that you said, hey, the trailer is out. And I was like, oh yeah, like, it's going to have crap all in it. Actually, no, it was a minefield of different interactions, huge kind of like learning the way that Violet and Antony are both reacting are not at all what I was kind of, well, Antony, yes, but like not Violet. But I do think that there is more context that we're not getting, and that's why they've put it in that way.
They made it seem very dramatic. I think it's gonna, but what I was saying is, we had already spoken about how we didn't have the thrill of this season that we had in season 3. We love this season. It has been beautifully done so far. A great rendition of the book, the proper amount of book with removing problematic parts, but we just weren't feeling the spark until this trailer.
And you've even noticed it. Like, I'm sitting there, I'm trying to weed my blueberries, and I'm looking up Cassiopeia and like all these different things, and I'm like, oh, and it's so hard because I'm like, I want to talk about them now, but at the same time, I'm still in my pollen era, and it's like, when do I put it in?
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of pollen, we've put it off for long enough. I think it is time for us to
make
haste into our sad, sulky pollen era.
It's angsty pollen. It's sad, sulky Sophie.
No, there's definitely some sad sulky in that bed going on later on in the episode.
Oh, Colin is sulking. Going through the feels. Yes, he's brooding, sulking. This is his era.
Yeah, era. Okay.
He's a Lady Whistldown. If you go by Julia Quinn said his birthday was the first week of March, so he's a Pisces. So if you go by that, he's very much a Pisces, because when he first finds out something, he has to live in those feels for a while and wallow in it before he can come out of it. He wants to fully process those feelings. And I say that as a fellow Pisces. I believe in my wallow era. I need it. So
we've got Twilight 2.0. I know what you are. Say it. Say it.
Say it. You're Whistledown. You wrote tonight. I didn't write tonight. Technicalities, pen. You wrote all the other ones. Touche. Yeah. Look at us coping with humor.
I feel like he says, is it not you who has been Lady Whistldown all along? And I feel like he says this as this one last ditch. You know, when you say things like in a fight, breakup and that kind of thing, and it's just you're
hoping it's not true.
You're wanting to prolong what you know is true, but you almost want them to deny it so you can live in that little fantasy, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's
Schrodinger's
really toxic,
breakup. There is a period of time in that breakup conversation where you are not broken up yet, but it's over, but you're not broken up. That's Schrodinger's paradox. Yeah, it's Schrodinger's breakup. That's where he is right now. He's like, one last ditch effort. I need a few more seconds here.
Just give me anything. Like, surely there's some sort of explanation that can clear this up.
Like, tell me I'm wrong.
But this line here, all of the lies you have told, all of the things that you have written about me and my family. Okay, for starters, what lies has Penelope told you? She had lies of omissions, Yes.
Yeah.
But
She
she did
hasn't
not.
actively told him any lie.
She tried to tell him many times, and I do think she very well could have tried harder.
Yes.
I think it was going to end differently? No, I think he was always going to go through the motion for a while, and I think
Yeah.
he deserves that. Like, it's a big amount to receive.
Yeah.
Do I think that he reacts with an appropriate emotional response in this scene? Yes, with the exception of there is not a shit show in hell that Colin would leave his pocket pen
No.
on a dark alley,
Especially when he said, I thought your driver abducted you to this part of town. He would not have walked away from her and left her in that part of town.
He would have been angry.
Unchaperoned. He would, yes.
It would have gone exactly as it did in the book. The book made sense. He would have been angry. He would have marched her into a carriage. He would have not talked to her the whole way home. He would have made sure she got out of that car, slammed the door, and like, there is no way that he was leaving her alone in that part of town, despite the fact that she had been there many times on her own and that was the norm for her. It still wasn't safe in the slightest, and she was absolutely risking her her virtue,
everything, her reputation, her virtue, her chastity, her life.
Yes,
because it was not unheard of for a woman to be used, abused, and unalive back then. Exactly. Bodies were found often.
Yes, like, because we even see it now with Gareth, like in Hyacinth's book, like he loses the plot when he realizes she's out on the
roaming the streets
at nighttime.
Now, my take on all the lies you told me, because he pauses, his voice catches. This is the moment where he's triggered by the situation with Marina. And he feels like because she omitted, because that's what Marina did, Marina omitted the truth about her state of being.
Yes.
Because Penn omitted the truth, because Colin does not lie, quote unquote, does not lie. He'll dance around the truth with his family. He does that from this point on for the rest of the season to protect Penn. But he does not lie. So he sees a lie of omission as a lie. And now he's wondering if what she told him in the church is even true. And he has marked it up as check, lie.
Yes.
There's no way that can be true. You cannot tell me you love me and have not told me every little detail about your life. Because Colin thought they were friends since they were little. They knew everything about each other. Nobody knows him like Penn does. He thought he had the same courtesy, and he just found out
that is true, though. Nobody knows him like Penn does. The difference is nobody knows Penelope through and through. You've got people who know sides of her, and that is it. Genevieve knows Lady Whistldown, but she doesn't know Penelope, really.
No, because she created a persona, right? She didn't put Penelope and Whistledown together. It wasn't until she quit writing, when Eloise told her to, that she realized that was a part of her. Like, she always saw Whistledown as separate. And even in season 4, she still talks about Whistledown like she's separate. She's not separate. The whole family does. They are one and the same. And the only person that treats him as one and the same to this day is Colin.
I must say.
No, I was saying, like, so this is the moment where he realizes there's something Penn has not told him. And now he sees everything she has ever said or done as dishonest. And all of her letters that were encouraging. Lies, all of the words, you'll find your purpose someday. I know, lies.
I think it takes him longer to hit that realization. Like, I think this is the initial gut punch of, I thought I knew and I didn't. And then I think as he's brooding and thinking through the last however many years, I think that's when the rest of it comes to him. And that's when the modiste scene happens, because that's the true.
I think that's when he says the trap line, the entrapment. I think that he's thought about it some more, but in this moment, he's instantly triggered. I don't think he thinks through it. I just think he feels like.
But I don't think he's.
I don't trust a word that.
I don't think he's at the jealousy side of it yet. Like, as in, like,
oh no,
all the words that she wrote about, like all the things, all the words she wrote to me in our letters. Like, I don't think he's mistrusting those, or even.
Well, he hasn't read them in a while. I'm saying, like, he can't. He remembers them as encouraging, but are they even true? He remembers, her saying he'd find his purpose. Is that even true? And like he says after the modiste, you told me I could be a writer. Is that even true?
And I think that is, like, I know we're jumping stories, episodes here, but I think that is why going back and reading her letters is what softens him, because he's like, everything she's ever told me is now a lie. And then he thinks the church scene where, she says, I have loved you in secret I was your friend, yes, but I was pretending I've always been in love with you. And then he goes and reads the letters through the lens of she's always been in love with me and sees in every word that she writes.
Yeah.
When he was looking at it through the lens of friendship, he only saw friendship. When he was looking at it through the lens of she loves me, he finally saw the words that were really there.
He finally saw, and looking at the yours truly, when we see that as, oh, you've always been Whistledown because you sign everything yours truly. No, she signs yours truly as Pen, but she's telling him yours truly because I'm yours truly. I'm yours. And he's like, but right now we're not there. We just have to talk about it because we hate this part.
Honestly,
we have to know there's a happy ending.
I knew something. Honestly, so people are going to hate me for this, but I'm the girl that if I'm in the really, really like the dark and stormy trenches of a book, I will read to the last or like within the last few pages to make sure that the person I love survives and that they end up together. Have I stayed awake, like in a multi-book series, have I stayed awake for 2 whole books worth till 4 a.m, like started a book that day, finished it at like 1 or 2 a.m, started the next one, and then finished it. Okay, I'm at a better place now, but now I'm invested. And then there was the Sookie Stackhouse mysteries when Eric loses memory. I was like, you can't leave me there. Ain't no way. And I read multiple in a row. Like, I cannot cope because I am so
You can tell you
empathetic.
grew up in the DVR era.
DVR?
Like, yeah, like you could record things, VCR, DVR. You could record your TV shows. I grew up in a time where you couldn't.
Thing. I mean, I grew up like we could when I was older.
When I read how terrible Umbridge was in Harry Potter, I closed and threw that book, and I'm like, I need to know Harry's okay. But I knew I had to get through the drudgery to get there. I didn't read the end.
I can't. I am so empathetic and I feel so much anxiety when I am reading. Like, it's actually probably quite unhealthy. Like, and I'm like,
But I'm a Pisces. I have to wallow in it. I think I need to fully feel the feeling.
No. Book 2, New Moon of Twilight, I wallowed so heavily that whenever I reread that, I have to skip the entire portion where she's like going through it, like, because I cannot live in that anxiety with too much for me. Like, my whole chest hurts. Okay, I am
secret here because Smaug is, he's read the Hunger Games, like, the first 3 in the trilogy
are like read them.
The trilogies. And then the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes and now the Sunshine on the Reaping are other stories that play into it. I haven't been able to read those because I'm still angry to this day that she put herself up for tribute for her sister, only for her sister to randomly be at this thing at the end and still die. So mad about it. I want to read these books because he is, and I want to be able to talk about them, but I can't. I haven't been able to.
All right. I'm gonna rip the Band-Aid off. I knew something was wrong, but stupidly I blamed myself as if I were undeserving of your love.
But that's how he felt. His insecurities, like, that tells us he's always seen Pen. He had Pen on just as high of a pedestal as she had him.
Pick the girl who hasn't slept in 2 days because, like, I'm already sad.
Yeah, but they both had each other on a pedestal, and this tells us that. You can't tell me that somebody fell in love with her 2.5 seconds ago and decided he wasn't good enough for her. That is something that is eons in the making, right? Yeah.
A deep-seated insecurity.
Yeah.
He has always felt like he was never good enough for Penelope because she is, I think, to him, the pinnacle.
And that's why it took him
perfection.
6 entire television seconds to say, what if I had feelings for you? 6 entire television seconds,
which is a long time.
And that episode's only 55 minutes long. That's a long time.
So mean. But you are the one who was at fault. I will never forgive you. Okay, we're getting a little bit into like emo angsty. I'm pulling
emotional
my curtain
immaturity
shut and listening to some Yellow Card, some all American Rejects. I'm painting
romance.
I'm not okay. I'm okay. Like, Colin's painting on his eyeliner. Okay.
Yeah. Or the one song that I have on the My Gen X Bridgerton
Your kids are
playlist.
not all right.
Oh, well, I have that too. But no, it's the one like I said it's like he sings it like it's Colin's song to Anthony about kind of oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to look it up now. It's
Teenagers
definitely
get living
it's
shit out of me.
it's emo era for sure, but it's like the I was never good enough for you or I'm
Most people would never pick that I was a closet emo because I never looked at it. Like being a wog in Australia growing up, like you were not emos. But I was a closet one whilst wearing all my pink. But I still have pop punk emo playlists that I make to this day to listen to, and it's still some of my most listened to music. Like it's either Taylor Swift, Blink-182, Yellow Card, like
right. Yellow Card.
I love and honestly, Paramore being in the season was just an unexpected delight in season.
Okay, keep talking. I'm gonna find it's killing that I can't think.
But the fact
And I
that
can't sort my Spotify.
like Colin, you know, is so about honesty and
Yes.
not truth, but like the fact that he says, I will never forgive you is like, I think even he would regret those words. I think it was one of those that, I mean, and this is the thing. He just found out that the woman who he believed ruined his life, his sister's life, nearly ruined his family, ruined the woman he loved, being Penelope, on multiple occasions, only to find out it was Penelope.
Yep.
Like, that is a lot of emotions to undertake in a very short amount of time. Like, he had absolutely zero clue that this is what Penelope was going through and why she was seeming reserved about their marriage. He had all of these built up feelings, like all of these insecurities. She doesn't love me. She doesn't want to marry me. I've forced her into this. I've trapped her into this marriage only to find out it was her. Like, that's a big 360 of emotions in a very short amount of time. And can any
perfect simple plan.
Perfect. Yes. Can any single listener honestly say that they would have responded in a more emotionally healthy way at that age? Because I think that's very important to state. He is still in his early 20s.
To this day, and I joke about it now, 30 years old, but some of the things that were slung between Smaug and I in the early years.
I mean, was I being petty with my husband yesterday? Yes.
Yeah, but you're an adult now with a child. Like petty now is different than, I mean, you don't know, you're still learning how to regulate your emotions in your early 20s. Like when you get hurt, you say shit that you regret until
my saying shit that I not, it's not, I don't regret it, but like guilt tripping my husband of I need to get a recording done because we're behind. Was I bending the truth a little bit? Sure.
And I'm not gonna say what the curse was. I'm not gonna elaborate here. But we had a fight so bad he cursed me. And I'm not saying he said curse words. I'm saying he said, better get used to this because that's what you're gonna have for the rest of your life. Not talking about himself, just basically I'm gonna be lonely and whatever. Like he cursed me. And I basically just used silence on him. I'm not going to even lie that was my emotional, like, I'll never forget the one time because I talk a lot and he talks very little and we were in a fight and I didn't know what to say for the moment. He said, silence is golden. And I hung up the phone. Like, you want silence, buddy? You're going to get it. People in their 20s are not fully emotionally mature. So no. I think part of the reason they aged down Colin and Penn for their romance is they could play out this teenage drama kind of, because this is very similar to your Gossip Girls, your, Gilmore Girls and those big emotional dramas,
I mean,
you're so dramatic, Colin. You're so dramatic.
Unpopular opinion, Team Max Medina, all the way, baby. Peak male, peak educated, nice to child. Toxic, but only toxic for you. Not to you, but for you.
For like, you, yeah.
He put up with way more than he should have with Lorelai. Anyway.
Yeah.
That's a whole different podcast, people.
Whole different one.
We're never going to get through this one in time if I don't move on. Yeah, so for those who say that Colin was being emotionally immature, that he was being cruel, that he whatever.
He was being emotionally immature, but not cruel.
I actually don't think he was. I think that he was actually pretty bloody steady because let me tell you.
He was overwhelmed with his emotions though. Like he was not, he wasn't harming her.
No, he
The book
wasn't
Colin would
yelling.
have.
He wasn't screaming. He wasn't
Yeah.
belittling. He was
It
sharing
is
his
okay
honest
for a
feelings.
man to cry.
It
It
is
is
okay
okay
for a man
for
to
a
say,
man to
I will
cry
never
when he
forgive
is
you.
hurt. Yes.
Like, it sounds harsh in the moment, but actually what he could have said, this marriage is over. I will never marry you.
Get out of
Like,
my face.
you will be a ruined woman. I will not marry you. You
Yeah.
will be ruined. Like, there are so many things that he could have said in that moment,
Mm-hmm.
and he did not.
Yep.
Like, he was impulsive in saying, I will never forgive you, but he could have said, I will never marry you. You will be a ruined woman. Your name will be tarnished. Your family will be tarnished. Because if a Bridgerton walked away from another Featherington, well, I mean, it was
If
only,
he walked away from another Featherington.
yeah, like, it would have been ruination for their family that I don't think they could have come back from this time.
No, 10 would have been done.
Like, she wouldn't be ruined in society's eyes.
Yes, she would.
No. I mean, as in, like, no one would marry her anyway. Like, no one would ever marry her, but I think she could live, like, in a comfortable silence if she just didn't attend the ball. Like, it wasn't like the queen was going to out her from society sort of thing. It was just that her name would be tarnished and she would always be whispered about at balls and all right.
Yeah. I don't know why my camera started zooming in on my face all of a sudden.
Didn't even notice so.
Okay,
Okay, so let's go to the reading of
the Timu Lady Whistledown.
Get your whistle down! Whistle down! All right. Actually, it should be you reading this one with your American accent because it's so not English.
It's so fake.
Do you have it up or no?
Dang. No, where is it? Oh, you do it on Netflix.
Mine, I just typed in. I'll pause while you pull it up.
Dearest gentle reader, if you thought that revealing my true identity would stifle me, guess again. I fear no reproach, as now you know I write to you from one of the most reputable houses in Mayfair. Certainly, no house is perfect, though there are some that purport to be. Take, for example, Bridgerton House with its shining reputation. This author must question what really goes on behind closed doors. It is known that Lady Violet Bridgerton praises love matches above all else. A nugget of truth.
Well,
But does love excuse why several of her children have had rather rushed engagements?
not a lie.
If I thought that Araminta Cowper really knew what was going on at Bridgerton House, I'd buy that, but she doesn't.
Well,
And technically, Colin and Penn got engaged.
actually, Cressida saw her go down the forbidden path.
Yes, but did Cressida tell her mother? No, because it would have gotten out. It would have gotten out. Cressida didn't tell anybody. Perhaps the family confuses love and lust. And then there is the fact that there are so many Bridgerton children. Has one ever wondered why so many? This author certainly has. Perhaps because a few of them may be of dubious parent. That's a clue that we were going to get Benedict for season 4, by the way. But yes, the reason that we know this is not real Whistledown is because Whistledown has never praised her own self ever. This was I'm jealous and I feel powerful and I have to put down someone else so that I can continue feeling powerful.
But it's really funny because like the streets are flooding with this latest Whistledown and everyone is like, oh, thank God, like life is going back to normal. They're all happy. The background music is like super chirpy. And then people start reading it. The looks of the ton. And let me just tell you, Miss Emma Kenworthy, Queen, Lord Cho.
We love you, Emma.
King. Because they are not buying it for a second. Like, they are disgusted by what they are reading. Because I think at the end of the day, Lord Cho, as much as he was part of the...
Those were the two that said, if she's Lady Whistledown, I love her writing.
Yes.
This is not the same writing.
Yes.
It just isn't.
Very much so. And I think that Emma Kenworthy is... I think Lord Cho, even though he was part of the Lord squad, he knew that Colin was the most authentic of them. I think that he also believed in what Colin was saying, you know, in those moments where he's being authentic and everyone else is mocking him for it. I think he believed what he was saying, but he just didn't have the goal to kind of stand up to them the way that Colin did. And I think that he regretted that. And now that he is with Emma and out and proud and, you know, a happily engaged man, he is like, this isn't like, I know Colin, I know Anthony, these are honorable men, and I won't have this witch talking about them that way.
Yes. And I also think that he may not have stood up to the Lord Squad, but he definitely quit hanging out with them because we don't see him around them after Danbury's ball. So
I think for a lot of men, it is that I think girls more make friendships based on mutual feeling rather than
Mm-hmm.
proximity. I feel like men make friendships through proximity because they're not very good at, and this is a huge generalization. I don't think men are on the same level of maintaining friendships as what females are. And that is why I think this whole male lonely epidemic that they're blaming on women, but actually it's that society hasn't taught them how to maintain healthy relationships with each other. And so they all think that, oh, in order to fit in amongst the men, we have to act like men. We have to belittle women because if one's doing it, we all have to do it. You know, it's
Mm-hmm.
this whole herd mentality. And I know that these are fighting words for any men listening out there. My apologies.
Not
Like,
all men.
not
Yeah.
all men. Like, I mean, absolutely, my husband has some friendships that,
And I think I'm going to say something very controversial here. I think it is all men, just not at all times.
yes.
Because even Colin sat there and let them boys talk crap, and he couldn't stand up for Penn at the end of season 2. And he sat there and acted like he pretend smiled and everything, like he was like going along with what they were saying, because he didn't know how to say, you guys are jerks.
Like in our early 20s, well, my early as Stephen for me, like I absolutely remember having discussions with Stephen stating how much I disliked the way that I was like, look, you are free to hang out with your bros. I don't really want to be around for it because I love you and you are not you when you are around them. And
Right.
I mean, people are different people around different people. That is true, but it was so far away, and he wasn't doing anything
Especially
wrong. He wasn't saying
neurodivergence.
anything wrong, but it just felt so forced that I hated it because I was like, "You are so beautiful in your authentic self that I hate seeing you be like this." And that was very much like watching Colin be around the douche squad. Was he was trying to fit in until he just could not anymore.
Could
You
not
know,
anymore. Yeah.
and
And that's what I'm saying. I think it is all men at some, but not all the time.
and I think that
I think that some men realize they don't like how something felt, or they don't like
yeah.
something that was said, or they end up having a daughter, or they end up getting a girlfriend or a wife, and they're like, yeah, that was kind of creepy, and they adjust their friends, like their friendships,
Because
who
you
they
finally
hang
have
out
an
with,
out.
their, yeah, but it's perspective. I think that patriarchy and men and boys growing up, and the whole boys will be boys, and like I remember being told, if a boy picks on you, that means he likes you,
Yes.
and the boys are taught to pick on the girls they like. So it's just gross parenting and societal, mating rituals kind of thing, even from a young age. And I think that all men are taught that way of thinking, but some of them graduate out of it. Some of them grow up out of it. Some of them don't.
And
So I
some
do
of
think
us are
it's all
now
men.
raising,
I
and
just
some of
think,
us are now raising our children to not have that mentality. My child from like 2 years of age brings me flowers. I saw a pretty
mhm.
flower and I thought of you, mummy. Thank you,
And
darling.
that's beautiful. And then when he has teenage male friends, that's when the real work begins.
Yes. Oh, it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, the teenage and early 20s years are the ones, trust.
Yeah, I ain't never putting up with no crap. Let me tell you that. My
So
child will
her
not be
saying,
disrespecting women.
yeah,
Absolutely not.
no. Yeah, so Whistledown touting her own power in the ton is unheard of. Whistledown's never done that. Now, she has said, I know everything, I see everything, I observe everything, but she's talking about her skills as a person, not her household, not her power, not her
Yeah.
reputation. That's totally a Cowper thing, that we see that in the Cowper house, the way Lord
Lady
Cowper
Whistledown is
acts.
not boast.
I think Araminta used this Whistledown as a way to appease Lord Cowper's
Yes.
fragile ego
Yes.
in the hopes of getting
Him back
Cressida
into.
back into his good graces.
Yes.
And then the second part is all, we're going to
Well,
beat up a family that Lord Cowper doesn't like, that they can do whatever they want and still have a good reputation. And she beat up the Bridgertons. Plus, she also knew that Cressida was friends with Eloise for a time. And I think that their authoritarian parenting, they wanted to beat down the people that were influencing Cressida. They think that this is all Eloise is doing, that Cressida is being like this. So they put down the one lifeline Cressida had.
Yeah.
Araminta burned her basically for her.
Yes. So as this article is being read, we see Violet like absolutely aghast. And keep in mind, like at this point, they're not aware that it's Penelope. They're not aware that there is a real Whistledown out there. They just think this is an article.
But she knows
that's come
who
out
wrote
that,
this one.
Yes. And it looks like the actual paper itself looks, they did make it look like the paper is the same. The print on the outside is the same. The society papers, the Lady Whistldown font, it is all the same. But that is as far as the similarities go. Like, it's like when you ask AI to do a replica for you and it just doesn't quite get it right.
It's not quite.
Off.
Yeah.
And it just takes people. But, like, I think you can tell, but, like, Violet knows this is lies about her and she's aghast by it. But the fact that the entirety of the ton is reading this and they are immediately shaking their heads, every single one of them knows that this is not true. They are all scandalized by it because they know it is not true. You don't see anyone being like, oh la la, like no one is believing that. And so another Lady Whistledown appears and Violet is almost at once relieved because she realizes which one is the fake. Like it, like she
briefly before you read the second one, I want to focus on what Violet's reaction is, like what she says, because she's like the lies she writes and why she's so angry because disparaging remark
actually alive for some. Well, the first half is not.
No, what I'm saying is what gets Violet's goat is that Araminta disparaged Edmund, who cannot defend himself, who is not present, because that line about they're not all
the dubious parentage.
The dubious parentage is not about her. A woman can only carry one child at a time. Yes. It's about him.
Yes.
And the children are stair steps.
And also, because keep in mind that she is currently going through this whole new life change where she is having feelings for another man for the first time in her life. And that would already carry a lot of guilt and a lot of mourning that she is now going through. Like, mourning is not linear. We have said this. I think one of the final, not stages of mourning, because it doesn't ever end. But I think one of the big blips that you go through with mourning is moving on to someone else and feeling guilty, feeling that loss all over again, because is it going to be the same with them?
And she feels in a way she's betraying his
memory.
She feels like she's betraying his memory. So seeing this disparaging him when he can't defend himself really angers her.
Right at the time where she is considering moving on with Lord Anderson.
Right.
Dearest gentle reader, it seems someone has been impersonating me, and so I can no longer sit idly by. This author is not interested in judging what one does out of desperation, but gossip as I might, I always tell the truth, and I cannot tolerate a lie. Cressida Cowper, this author is not. If she were me, surely she would have reported on the great debt Lord Blackburn refused to repay to Lord Sampson this week, or the fact that Mrs. Newham unceremoniously dismissed her maid yesterday for the simple act of asking for a day off. Gasps softly. And I will not even mention the smallest cruelties Mr. Davidson's wife endures daily, except, I suppose, I just did.
I love that line.
I said what I said. I say this all to remind you that this author, the true Lady Whistledown, is always paying attention. Something that I believe Miss Cowper should try to do a little more. Yours truly, Lady Whistledown.
So in the carriage when she's
Burn.
In the carriage when she's driving to the printers and you see her kind of look up like all excited about what she's writing, I feel like it's that line, except perhaps I just did.
I think it's very much because, as we can see, like, Penelope is excited by what she is writing. She takes great pride in the words that she chooses. It's like you and I, when we find the word that perfectly suits the moment, we get giddy about it because it's something that we are
96% of the time we can't find it.
Oh, honestly. Me with words. Like, I'm either a wordsmith or a B, C, D, what comes next? There's no in between. So I think that's very much like, it wasn't just the fact that Cressida tried to take accountability for her paper. It's that she tried to take accountability and then put out the Team U version that AI wrote And it was an insult to her legacy.
Well, and she didn't even know what was going to be written. She just knew it was
Well,
probably going to be about the Bridgertons.
she saw from the little envelopey blurb bit that Cressida sent out that it wasn't going to be good.
Well, I think she knew by Eloise's panic attack that it was going to be Bridgerton related. Yeah. So she knew that if she defended the Bridgertons, it would be obvious. So she had to write defending herself in a way, like just herself. So and she did exactly what she needed to do, because she had the feeling that the Cowpers could only write about the Bridgertons because they're so jealous of them. That's who they're focused on.
Just applying my
it's okay,
my tender nose.
But Penelope's not jealous of anyone, so she observes all. She can see everything. Like, she envied everybody being able to openly live their lives without being awkward about it, but she wasn't jealous. Like, envy, to me, envy and jealousy are two different things. Like, envy is, I'd love to have that, but I don't begrudge you having it. You know what I mean? But jealousy is, I want what you have and I begrudge you having it. So you're obviously not ready to talk, so I'm going to keep talking.
I agree. She isn't jealous. She's not envious. She is disgruntled that she has built up this mastery of writing style only for something. Honestly, like there is no other way to.
In the end, she says she's envious of everybody living their lives. So I'm saying she writes her column she observes everyone because she wants to be able to live her life out loud as well. She envies them that ability as an introvert.
Yes.
But Lady Cowper writes from pure jealousy.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. I can agree. When I say she's not envious of people, I mean, like, she doesn't want she doesn't want to be the mean-spirited girl. She doesn't want to be a popular girl. She just wants the best qualities of them, not what they have monetarily or anything like that. Like, she's not like, oh, I want the hottest man on the town. I want to have the biggest house. Otherwise, she could have married Dibbling. Not that he's the hottest man on town. He's fine, but you know what I mean.
He's attractive enough.
He is. There's nothing wrong with him. Like, she never wanted Colin because of his looks. I'm sure it doesn't help to look at him. But it was never about his looks. It was about Colin. So what I'm saying is, she's not ever writing these things to be spiteful because they have what she can't have or doesn't have. It's very much just I enjoy observing the lives that you live and the way that you live them.
Right.
And you know, this line, gossip as I might, I always tell the truth. And I think that's quite ironic considering the words that Colin, like, she just wrote that. Colin then finds her and then throws the line, like, all the lies you have told me. Like,
right.
It almost feels like she was writing that in response to him, but actually she wrote it before he threw that line at her. And then also the words,
but I also think it's that line technically that sparked the conversation outside the modiste, because she writes that and he's like, yeah, Pen's kind of like that. So I need to ask her why she wrote about Eloise, why she wrote about Marina. Yes. You get what I'm saying? Like, It's not about was it a lie or not. It's about why.
Yes. So this line is the one that kind of got me, was that led me to believe that maybe they do have some sort of reconciliation in the future. I mean, it's not what we're getting from season 4 promo stuff, but this line, this author is not interested in judging what one does out of desperation. And I feel like that was kind of giving Eloise Cressida an out of, I understand that she was desperate not to be married to an aged man, so I will not judge her for her actions, but I will not tolerate her spreading lies. Like, she was saying, I understand why you've done it, but I cannot tolerate what you have done, which I think is fair. And I actually thought that was rather considering the original one was, you know, comparing her to the devil and whatnot. I think that this one was much more empathetic to Cressida's situation, which is more than what we can say for Eloise and how she responds to both Cressida and Penelope in this moment. I love that.
Well, I think her choosing to not write for the benefit of Eloise and that friendship gave her time to pause so that she could write something more meaningful and less Emotion driven.
Yes. What I was going to say is I love that Mr. Davidson's wife carries the Lady Whistldown article
Like
like
it's
a
a
brooch
treasure.
of truth because she just outed her husband as being so cruel, and it's not something that she has to suffer in silence anymore. Like people,
People know, yeah.
not that
And
like
he probably, and as people who, like she says, the small cruelties that she endures every day, those are probably within the home and not in public. And he probably thinks
yes.
nobody noticed. And now he
Yes.
knows they do.
Yes, and I think that this was very, very common of the time, sorry, when women were your property and you were allowed to treat them as such. You could treat them however you wanted. You were allowed to beat them. Was it allowed to be known in public? No. But what happened behind closed doors was completely between a man and a wife and God, is what they used to say.
Yep.
Which is absolutely not true. You beat a woman in front of me, or you beat up anyone in front of me, we're gonna be having words. Doesn't matter if it's man, wife, child, anything. Like you lay your hands on someone.
Plant.
You,
Don't hurt that plant. Don't hurt those blueberries. What are you doing? All they do is give and give and give.
I used to pick a flower, and my granddad would say, "Oh, the flower's crying. The plant is crying. You took its friend."
Oh.
Speaking of cruelties that are behind closed, we now are back at the Cowper house where, like, obviously Lord Cowper, I don't know how he would have taken the article had it gone positively in his favor. I think he still would have reacted very similarly because no matter if they then used that article to promote the Cowpers and put them back on top, I think he would still see it as shameful because your daughter and wife subsequently are working women to do this, and that is where the shame is. A man is the man of the house. You do not interfere with that. Like, so I think that he would have reacted the same way even if the article had been successful, to be honest, because
yes and no.
he can't control it.
I think that in this case Araminta was smart because she had no intention of continuing Whistledown, right? It wasn't about that money. It wasn't about earning the weekly or tri-weekly money from Whistledown. She was interested in just getting the money from the queen so that Araminta could find a husband.
Yes.
So Cowper would have raged. He would have been miffed and he would have said, I forbid you, you must stop. And once they had that money, I think she would have had Cressida be contrite and say, yes, father, I will stop. And then Whistledown would have retired and everyone would be happy. Cowper would feel like he got what he wanted. He would feel like it was his idea.
The queen would have never let that go.
Araminta would have facilitated all of it. No, because look what she's doing to Penn right now. Yeah. Cressida couldn't have lived under that.
No, she is like Penelope is under the queen's rule. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But Lord Cowper,
I think what Araminta's plan was, she was doing for her daughter, but also playing into her husband's ego.
I do think that she loves her daughter. Like, we give her a lot of crap. Is she the mother that Cressida deserves? Absolutely not. No. Do I think she loves her daughter? Yes. So, because I think that this whole entire plan was not for her own benefit. It was to try and get her daughter a secure match, get her out of the ton, appease her husband,
get her out of that house,
but also get her daughter somewhere safe.
Yeah, because she's not even safe in her own. And I think that this is the picture you see of a woman who's in a situation that she feels like she cannot leave.
Yes,
but she is trying to get her kids out.
Like, we're gonna sit here and judge Araminta. And I do for many things, but I think in this case, you can see she is trying to stand there. Like, it's kind of ironic to me because she is kind of dressed in a print that looks very, very much like snakeskin, which can be misleading as to who she is. And I think that that's kind of also a point, is that a lot of people see snakes as, you know, representation of the devil and all that kind of thing. But there are plenty of snakes out there that are completely harmless and quite cuddly. Am I going to be cuddling them? No, but I don't think they're all bad. And I think that Araminta isn't all bad. Is she a nice person? Not by any stretch of the imagination, but she does love her daughter. And you can see in this moment where Lord Cowper is berating his daughter and she feels guilty. You can see she knows she was part of it. She concocted this idea and now her daughter is suffering for it and is going to be sent off to Aunt Joanna. And you can see that lingering, like, I want to be here. I want to support you, but my fear of him is greater than my love for you.
Yes. And I also saw this as a juxtaposition of like she took over to protect her daughter because her daughter was afraid and couldn't handle the situation. And I think that Colin took over not because Penn was afraid, but because she's a female and he felt like he was required to do so. But in the end, when he realized he made it worse, he owned up to that. Araminta does not even privately to her daughter does she own up that my pushing you made things worse.
Yes.
She feels it, but she can't own up to that accountability.
Oh, absolutely not. Like if Lord Cowper thought his wife had anything to do with
In fact,
that article,
doesn't she would have also Cressida later?
She would have also been sent off to Wales.
Yeah, doesn't she gaslight her daughter later? Like, if you would have never befriended her, we wouldn't be like, So yeah, she just can't take accountability.
Whereas your Eloise now.
Yeah, that's a way of showing Colin is emotionally mature because people older than him cannot even take accountability that quickly for their mistakes.
Right. Let's finish off this episode. When I say finish off, I mean like another half an hour of content. Let's finish off this episode with going through kind of the Featherington and Eloise interactions. So I find it quite interesting.
Promenade.
The promenade. Everyone's promenade. Apparently, you got to get your step count in. Like, can't you see those Apple Watches? Like, get those steps, people. I'm just thinking back to Pride and Prejudice.
I find it interesting. At this point, I think, because Penelope has, kept to her room mostly. And I think that this tells me that she feels it's over, that Colin is not going to marry her because she's doing exactly what she did after the humiliation at the full moon ball. She is out walking amongst the ton, having them see her face so that she can show her face at balls again to do Whistledown because she thinks she lost Colin. That's the only reason she's out there. And to hopefully see him or Eloise, I think.
So funny that you said that because that was my exact notes as well. Like promenading happily, like her life didn't just blow up laughing with her mum. And then like when it actually zooms in on Penelope, you can see that there was obviously something wrong. Like her mum's chit-chattering, blabbering on, rah, and she's not paying attention. Tell that she is either looking for Colin or Eloise. But you can also, I love the interactions that are going on behind her. Like this whole thing's going on. She's ignoring her mum, who's just like doting over her in the most
living vicariously through
in the
her,
most narky way that a narc can. Yes.
Our nuptials.
Yes.
Everybody's going to see our nuptials. Portia, you are not getting married.
I absolutely cackled though of how many eyes do you think there is in the ton? About us. Because she does try to cover it of our nuptials, and then I want every eye of the ton focused on you.
Right.
How many eyes do you think there are in the ton? Double the amount of people, I'd imagine. Not true. Some of them have been to war. There may only be one eye.
Well, there is a lady at the masquerade ball who is blind and uses a sleep mask for her masquerade mask. So
I love that.
Do you count the eyes if they don't?
Yes, because they're still eyeball.
What I'd like to point out here too, what else is going on behind, is that Mr. Davison is now promenading with someone other than his.
Interesting.
He is directly behind the Finches.
I wonder if that's the cruelty that she is talking of, that he parades his mistresses in public.
Probably, because that's a cruelty.
Yes.
You're seen promenading with someone other than your wife. It is the same dude. I looked and looked and looked.
Yeah.
Multiple images from Cap that, because I caught it like right after she says that. I caught it and was like, I think that's the same guy, and I like zoomed in, blew it up, but it is not the same.
I love Philippa commenting that Prudence has stopped insulting her and therefore she must be rather clever.
I think I'm clever.
How did you come to that conclusion? Where did that conclusion come from? Did it just float from the sky to you? Like, girl, 1 + 1 does not equal banana.
If she isn't being put down for her intelligence anymore, she must have gotten smarter. I think that's what she means. I must be getting smarter because Prudence isn't calling me dumb.
I love just how sweet Finchie is. And he's such a king and tells her of course she is so intelligent. And even Dinky smiles happily.
But I think it's important. This line is important because it tells you that Prudence is truly the one that has shaped what Philippa became and
Yeah.
what Penelope became because Portia allowed her cruelty.
Yes. And we even see that in season 4, with the whole Varley and like someone falling over, and I would never laugh at someone's misfortune. No, of course not. Yeah.
Right.
But one of my favorite lines from Denki is that there is something terribly wrong with my wife because she does not smack my hand away with nearly enough gusto.
He loves it when she plays hard to get.
That is their love language. This is when Penelope spots Eloise and makes a beeline. She's like, "Mum, I'm outies. Like, ladies, can't sit with us." I love how Portia's like, "But I'm doting. Why is she not doting on my doting?"
Right.
Like, she is so confused as to why. Like, this is all Prudence and Philippa have ever wanted from her, and now that she's giving it to the daughter she's never given it to, she don't want it.
Well, and they basked in it the whole time.
Yes.
Like they wanted that attention and they loved having it, but Penelope's not used to it, so she's just like, ew.
Do you think that is why Portia is going so above and with it as well? Because she's a narc and narcs thrive on that attention, and because
the attention,
because Penelope's not giving it to her, she's trying harder and harder.
Yeah, because and partially that, but partially too, she's worried as a narc. She's worried she's not doing enough, and that Colin is going to base how he treats Portia on what Penelope says. She knows this, so she's worried that Penelope will be like, my mom's still not nice to me. Colin is gonna,
and that Penelope and Colin will then pass that knowledge on Anthony
to Dundas.
Who's no
Dundas.
Well, that too, but
he's still at the point where she doesn't know what Colin knows or doesn't know about Dundas, and she's worried if she creates an enemy in Colin who uncovered Jack that she's done for
crafty Colin.
It's still precarious.
Oh my god, we could have had Colin as Sherlock Holmes.
Mm-hmm.
I would have loved that.
He would be a good Sherlock.
Penelope would be
yeah, but that's going to be Hyacinth and Garrett, and I think it's going to be Enola Holmesy.
Yeah, very much. So I'm actually really excited for that. I started
filming it now, right?
Finished filming. Yeah. I actually really enjoy the whole Enola Holmes.
I do too. Love it. Well, I haven't read the books, but I like.
I haven't. I didn't even.
Yeah, it's based on books. I just found out.
So it's actually quite interesting because this line here, so Penelope approaches Benedict and Eloise, and I feel like this actually goes along with his book perfect, because like Cressida's Benedict is asking Eloise, a devotee of Lady Whistldown again, particularly good issue. Pen interrupts their stroll with "Good day," while just intently staring at Eloise, and I love that Benedict's reaction is
laser eyes.
I will be over there reading. But the reason that I say that this ties in with his book is in the book, Sophie specifically states he meets Benedict and they're at the masquerade ball, and she says she knows who he is because Lady Whistldown has written exactly a whole article based on how to identify each sibling, and she says Lady Whistldown must have never spent a moment alone with Benedict Bridgerton because she does not understand that he is possibly the most perceptive man that she has ever met, because she was sure that he was seeing right in her soul, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is a man that Penelope walks up, says "good day," and then just basically stares at Eloise, and he's like, girl chat. I'll be over there. But he is so much
and
more
he recognizes that Penelope is not going to speak in front of him.
Like, I think that Benedict is a lot more perceptive than more people believe him to be, like, because he gives off this whole class clown persona that people think that he's dense in the ways of etiquette, feeling, rah. But actually, I think he is one of the most perceptive of feeling. He just tends to respond to those feelings with joke.
Which is why I really wanted the bet between Anthony and Benedict over Colin and Penn getting married, because they both perceived it long before Colin did, or Colin admitted to it in the show. But I think I needed them to pass a couple quid to each other, just something,
Well, on that, Sarah, it is your moment to shine, because I'm about to get back on my Eloise is the worst train. I love Eloise. I love her humor. I love her unapologetic, quirky self. But actually, I think it is it is Claudia I love. you can't separate the two.
Yeah.
No one else could play Eloise the way that Claudia Jessie does. So it is impossible for me to hate Eloise because Claudia Jessie is so iconic of a human being. But Eloise is not really doing herself any favors in this season. She is just not the nice friends because Eloise is so happy that Cressida has been discredited and is yarning on about how happy she is that Penelope is printing again. And it's like, funny that Lady Whistldown is so good when it suits, right? Until Penelope tells her that Colin knows and is furious and he may not marry her. And all Pen says is, I don't know what to do. If I told Stephen and I were having marital problems and I said, I don't know, how would you to that?
Well, in the end, your decision is yours, but I'll be a sounding board. I will sit with you in it. Like, I'll support you. It's your life, but I'm your friend. So, like, I don't want to interfere, but I want to support. So whatever you need from me.
You do not have to get in between a couple to support someone.
Them. Right.
All she says is, I do not know. And Eloise says, I cannot help you, as she already feels that she is in the middle of Penelope and Colin. Despite the fact that Penelope just blew up her entire relationship, all because the numerous times that Eloise has butted her head in where it was not needed and caused these entire situations. And that is not to say that Penelope should not be held accountable for Lady Whistledown, for not telling him that she was Lady Whistledown, whatever. That is a whole other discussion. She is also accountable for her portion in it. But Eloise is yet again taking no accountability for the fact that she was the one who convinced Penelope she had to write to save her family from ruin.
No, Penelope wanted to write.
Yes.
And she finally agreed. But she agreed because it was going to benefit her.
Yes.
She told her not to write simply because she didn't want Colin to be mad at her. Her, not Penelope, her.
But it's like, Penelope saved your ass yet again, and you can't even sit in your friend's feelings when the man of her dreams is potentially going to leave her to ruin, not just not marry her, but also completely blow up her entire reputation, her life, her chance of ever being married, short of finding a country gentleman maybe take her, or as
and once she's found out as Whistledown, no one would, you know what I mean? Like,
unless they're from overseas, she goes overseas or something, like goes to the Americas to find a husband.
Or goes to India with Anthony and Kate.
Yeah. But like, she has absolutely blown up her life, and her friend cannot even sit in this moment with her, hold her hand and say, even without a husband, I will be here I will always be your friend. Like, she can't even spare a single kind, thoughtful, supportive word for the woman who has been by her side for numerous years now and supported her through everything. Well,
and I would say in this moment, though, this is her jealousy of Penelope and Colin, because she's going to lose her best friend, she feels like. Just like in season 4, where she's upset finding Francesca in Penelope's house, having tea with her, just the two of them.
Well, and
we know struggles sharing Pen.
And we know it's about that because she says maybe she has always been coming between Penelope and Colin. And here comes your favorite line.
Oh, I hate this part.
It was just a silly infatuation in which turned into a real friendship over time. Really, Pen? Infatuation for 10 odd years. Infatuation, hey?
One, I'll give this, there's 2 ways I can look at only. 1, Eloise has created such a tenuous string of their friendship that Penelope sees a possibility of repairing it, but the only way she can do that is to abandon her feelings for Colin to placate Eloise. That is a possibility, but it is a stretch that a writer is going to come up with one single line to completely do that.
Yeah.
Second, shit writing. They didn't read that writer didn't read the book, didn't see that she's loved Colin since literally he fell off his horse, and she would never, and she just said, as Whistledown, I cannot tolerate a lie. That sentence out of Penelope's mouth is 100% a lie.
Like, do I honestly believe that 11-year-olds can be deeply in love with someone? Questionable. I think that
a girl, yes. Not the kind of love you get married for. You need to mature.
Yes.
But it is still love.
It is still love. Is it the kind of love where you kind of truly know a person and know what you're choosing? Because they haven't even come into their personality yet, realist. It is still a kind of love, though. it is more on the side of infatuation at say 11 years old, but it is an 11-year-old's love. Like, and I feel like she just downplays it so much just to appease
On
Eloise.
purpose to placate Eloise.
But
Yes.
the fact that she then goes on to say, "You are the truest friend I have ever known, Elle. It was torture not being by your side this season. Could not bear the thought of completely." The second that she says either of, which is when Eloise clears her throat, pulls her hands back, and shuts down, as if
Yep.
like,
She let her hold her hand through the whole part of I miss you, whatever. But as soon as she tried to include Colin, Eloise shut down.
and I feel like this is the first time that Penelope and her were starting to act pair from, because they've talked about Whistledown and everything, but they haven't actually talked about their friendship, what their friendship went through up until we get
Yes.
the, did you befriend Cressida because of rah 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 scene.
But that happens later too. Like this is the beginning of their repair.
Yes.
But I think the reason Eloise shuts down again is not necessarily because of Penelope, but because she hasn't confronted Colin for his part in it. Like, how dare you throw this engagement in my face without coming to me and saying that you're thinking of doing? Like, that's the Bridgertons really struggle with not having their fingers in everybody's pie. They have to know the goings on of their whole freaking family so that they can put in their 2 cents. She wanted to be able to put in 2 cents. And I think her 2 cents would have been, go marry the girl. Now that I think about it, she's loved you forever. But she wasn't given that opportunity. And she feels she's more mad at Colin here, I think. But it was showing
just toxic that like Penelope is putting her whole heart on the line to Eloise in this moment. And it wasn't about Colin. Like, I can see how it felt almost as if she were buttering Eloise up by saying, "Oh, I love you so much. Can you help me through this?
Please still help me. Yeah, help me talk to Colin."
I don't think it was that. I think it was, "I love you so much. It's been terrible being separated from you. I'm going through something. You don't have to interfere, but can you just support me? Can you be my friend? Can you sit with me in the uncomfortableness?" And that is what friendship is. You don't have to solve their problems for them. And that is something that I had a really hard time learning in my early 20s, because I tried to solve everyone's problems for them. And now I've learned I don't have to solve it. I can just sit in the silence with them. I can be there, like on days where you're having a really hard day and I say, "Hey, I'm just calling you to check in. I know you're having a hard day. We don't even have to talk about it, but I know that you need support."
And I'm the kind of person, like, I can't make your decision for you. That's up to you. But I can, because I can recognize patterns and because I can empathize with all parties involved. I usually can give you, if you make this decision, these are the likely outcomes. If you make this decision, these are the likely outcomes, so that you can think them all through and you can prepare. Because let me tell you, my oldest friend, that's what they come to for. This is what I'm thinking about doing. Help me walk, right? Like, I need to talk this out, kind of thing.
Love a good pros cons.
Right. Like, let's do pros and cons. Let's do, well, if I do this, what does this look like? What do I have to prepare? Or if it's a relationship thing, well, if you say this, you could hurt that person's feelings. They have this going on, or this is their background. This could, this may not work out in your favor.
I think this does also show their age, because I think that it is an art to learn how to give your friends honest feedback in a way that's not hurtful, but to show empathy for all parties. And I think that because you and I are both so empathetic, I think that sometimes I try to look at things from all perspectives and try to be not the rational mind, but like give an outsider overview of it, where sometimes people just want support, blind support,
They want you to just support them. They don't want, like, I get told a lot, if I forget to ask, if I forget to go, "What are you looking for here?" Right? I get told, like, "Why are you defending them?" Like, I'm not defending them. I'm just reminding you that they're a human being that are also making their own choices and decisions in this world, and that this may be what's driving that. That's all I'm doing. Like, I'm not defending them in the least. There's two human beings in this situation.
And that's what I was about to say as well. Like, same, surprise, surprise, Patty and I are one mind.
Surprise!
I just, Eloise's response to this ain't it. She's not a good friend. I think she still needs to learn how to be a good friend. I think she needs to learn how to sit in people's feelings with them, because she's about to go off Like, there ain't no way you can tell me that Eloise is not season 5. Like, it is written in the stars, people. It is everywhere. They are even doing billboards with, sayings of Eloise and such. Like, they are promoting she is season 5 without at least saying.
Yeah.
But I feel very much like you're
Or they're
about
waiting
to.
for us to definitively say we know it's Eloise just so they can throw a wrench in.
They will not. You throw Michaela at me when I'm expecting Sir Philip.
Right.
At 9 we march.
And I really kind of like Sarah's thought process. And I think they need to work on that and develop that, because that makes
quite interesting. But I just Sir Philip is. I mean, they could very well change him dressed from the book. I'm really glad that they did. I must say,
they've already proven he's noble because he took on the non-married girlfriend of his brother, who was pregnant.
I have to say right now, if I see Sir Philip beat small children, I think I will.
It'll be the governess. It'll be the mean governess. They won't have it be Philip at all. It'll be the mean governess. Now they'll show him getting overwhelmed, because I think they're going to play him up Tisamy. They'll show him getting overwhelmed and not really knowing how to handle the kids, but I don't think he'll be physical. The governess will be, and Eloise will take care of them.
Yes, I hope she does. Send her out, because
and the kids better be rapscallions, and I want the flower bucket. The flower bucket.
Did you see on Facebook this morning, they have casting calls for twins for Bridgerton?
Yeah, she's season 5.
She's season 5.
She's season 5 so much.
But what I'm saying here is Sir Philip is deeply triggered. He has some PTSD from his childhood father. He has a lot of deep-seated insecurities about trying to have an honest marriage with Marina, where even though obviously she loved his brother and they are drastically different people, I think he's like, well, this may be our lot in life, but we can still make the most of it. We can still have a friendship. We can still maybe be bum buddies occasionally, like, if that's what you want, but it's not what she wants. And I wonder whether he has to have an heir with her, or whether it's just the son is the heir. Anyway.
Well, in the books, the twins were his.
Yes, but
he had to sleep with her to get an heir.
Yes, but it felt wrong, and he hated himself.
It felt wrong because she didn't want to do it.
No, and so I don't know whether they'll still play out that storyline, because that's not 2026 approved.
I think he will have been celibate all these years, and that's why Eloise is going to rock him.
We will rock you.
Yeah. I think he's going to have decided that he doesn't need that to have a relationship, because he had a pretty decent one with Marina without that. And it's going to be something like that. Like, I think Eloise is going to be going to Penn, like, teach me how to Dougie, and then she's gonna teach her how to Dougie, and then she's gonna teach Philip how to Dougie.
Well, because a big part of their storyline is Sir Philip just being like, can you shut up, for the love of God? Can you just shut up? And we're kind of getting that with Hyacinth already, where we kind of need people to put Eloise in her place and say, hey, either, like, didn't your mama ever teach you, if you ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all? Like, I think she needs to learn that lesson.
Her two friendships are like, all you ever do is talk. Then Hyacinth is like, all you care about is your own self.
Yes. And so that was my whole point with Sir Philip, is their whole storyline plays out of her and him both healing each other.
Yep.
Him teaching her to live in the calm a little bit more. We all need a Sir Philip. Stephen is my Sir Philip minus the child. Because that was a thing for me. Like, I really struggled. The second that he'd laid a hand on those kids, I don't care that they almost killed Eloise. They are still children, and they are not old enough to know better. They were, I think the son was 8 years old.
They were both 8. They were 7 or 8. But I think that I always felt his shame for that. Like, that was how he was raised to parent, because that's how his father parented. And he believed there could be a different way. He just didn't know how to do it. Yeah. And that was the saving grace for Philip for me, as we're, no longer talking season 3 anymore.
Season 5. You can tell how much we really want to be in the angst with Colin here.
Yeah, we really don't.
Not water, coffee.
But yeah, I think that that saved Sir Philip in the book for me, that he felt genuine shame, and that he almost started studying Eloise as she was interacting with the kids, like, to learn, because she had younger siblings she helped raise. So he was kind of watching her to see how to interact with his children in a better way, because he just didn't. He was only doing what he knew.
It actually really upset me the way that Eloise treated Penelope, because this is a woman who is going to have to go on, run away to another house and teach children how to have empathy, how to have fun, how to care about other people. Because that is essentially what she does with the twins, is she teaches them how to care because they've never had anyone care for them in their life. They've got their mother who was apathetic to them their whole entire life, whom their only interactions with her was occasionally going to her bedside as she was in her depression era, all of her eras, and like seeing her just be completely apathetic towards them. They had their dad who just did not know how to handle them and thought he had never had a father figure, so he didn't know how to treat them either. And so he left it all up to this woman who absolutely abused crap out of these poor children. So they have had no kind, no care, no apathy, no empathy, no warmth in their entire life. And then Eloise is going to show them warmth? What Eloise? Because that ain't the Eloise that's showing no one warmth. She doesn't know how to show her brother warmth, her sister, her best friend, her Cressida. I don't know what to call her.
But I think that's because when she ends up in that situation and she realizes, I mean, she ruins her reputation to run off.
Yeah.
She can't go home with her tail between her legs. So she has to make it work. And she's put in a situation where she has to make it work for as long as it will work. And so she has to learn, she's learning right along with them. So
Yeah.
I think that, I mean, this is a karmic relationship. The kids are the karma. Philip is the prize. Like, he's what she wins in the end because she goes through the karma.
Show you how. I can't wait. I digress.
I read this in a book somewhere. Let's try it out. Eloise's best pickup line for sex ever. I read this in a book. Can we try it?
I absolutely felt for Penelope when she says to to Eloise that she understands that it's her mess with Colin and asks Eloise for her forgiveness for even trying to bring it up. I'm so sorry that I came to my friend for help, not to help me solve the problem, but to help me not live in my consequences with me, because I don't think that's what she was asking. I think she was just asking, sit with me,
support,
be with me, walk with me, just be there with me. Like she's saying,
talk through this with me, help me make my choices.
Going through the last year on the ton without you was torture. Not having you by my side was torture. Please be by my side. Oh, you don't want to be? Cool, thanks. Like she just went through all of this and then has to ask her forgiveness for deigning to ask for the bare minimum.
Right. And I think that how quickly she's like, you're right, I'm sorry, whatever. That shows us, because Penn grew up in trauma. Penn was gaslit.
Penn's never asked for anything.
Believed she wasn't given anything. She was told she didn't have the right to ask for anything. And then her friendship was more of the same, not because Eloise couldn't be a good friend, but because Penelope wanted one person to love her. And when you're a child, you want it to be your best friend, right?
Yeah.
Wanted someone to love her, just no matter what, that she was giving in to Eloise all the time. You see their relationship is like that. Penelope constantly abandoning herself, giving in to Eloise to keep Eloise's friendship.
Pathological pleaser. I wouldn't marry me either. I feel that line so hard. I very much feel like Eloise comes from a house with 7 siblings and nothing was ever truly just her. Penelope was just her plaything. Well, I mean, Colin was always there, but like she didn't actually have to share.
Oh, but Eloise was hers, or Penelope was hers. We see that all through season 2.
Yeah.
When she is talking to Colin and Eloise just takes her away. Yes. Like Eloise believes Penelope is only her.
Yes. And now I feel like Eloise is punishing her. Like, if I can't have all of you, I don't want any of you. She is the terrible mother in that story with the splitting the baby. You know the story.
Yeah, the King Solomon story.
King Solomon.
Like, I'll just cut the baby in half. And the one mother's like, no, don't do it. Don't do it. And the other one's like, yeah, do
Colin's
it.
Like,
oh, you're obviously
don't split
not
the baby. And Eloise is like, so we have this ad for a confectionery in New Zealand and Australia. So all my Australasians will understand this one. Don't chop the dinosaur, Daddy. And then he's like, well, you get none of it then. Chop it. She's like, well, if I can't have any candy, go ahead, cut the dinosaur in half. You can have the head. I'll have the butt.
Right.
But on that note, vegetation.
Yeah. Hold on. Before we end totally, I just want to say I finally was able to get Milfoy, and Samadani was not quite as boring as John, but boring enough. because milfoy is just pastry cream in between puff pastry with a tiny bit of chocolate on the top.
Sounds
It's
dry.
tall. It kind of dry. Yeah, kind of. And what kind of samadani appeared to me?
I was gonna say tall, dry, and a little bit chocolate. That sums them up perfectly.
Tall, dry, and a little bit chocolate. Yep. So that is milfoy. It has officially been tried. And now we know the personality. We now know that Bridgerton thinks of every detail.
For today, gentle listeners, we will leave it there and continue on next week's episode when we discuss how Colin is a banana split. He can put his banana or his split anytime.
I hate banana splits.
I couldn't even get it out. Even I knew it was too far.
Colin is a brownie sundae. He's delicious.
I wanted to make the joke about banana and he was going somewhere, okay? It wasn't good.
Michaela's a banana split.
It wasn't anywhere good, but it was going somewhere.
Michaela's a banana split.
If you have anything...
A little bit fruity.
If you have anything in particular you'd like us to cover, or any Bridgerton knowledge on what character is what dessert,
ice cream
please
dessert,
head to our Facebook page, The Ladies Bridgerton. And if you're enjoying our podcast, please seek medical help. Please remember.
And once again,
please remember to click like, subscribe, and leave comments wherever you are listening.
And once again, thank you for listening to the musings of two insane women.
I was gonna say, I don't think mad even like sums it up. I think it's unhinged women.
Unhinged women.
Yours truly, Tash the Kiwi.
And Lady Patty.